Hello everyone again. I'm going to take a look at a few exercises from 19a in this video. I'm not going to do them all again. Just going to take out a few which I think maybe are more difficult than the ones in exercise 16 and 18. So to start, let's take a look. We're going to take a look at, let's say exercise 19f, because that could be a tricky one for some of you. X to the power of 4 minus x to the power of 3 plus x squared. How am I going to solve this one? Well, first write down what those terms exactly mean. Like this. Remember, x to the power of 4, I write down like this. X times x times x times x. Here I have x times x times x. Yeah, and this one is just x times x. What are my common factors? Well, because they're all only powers of x, you will see that I can underline or find the common factors to be x times x. Not any more x's because x squared doesn't contain them. If I find of taking a look at common factors, all my terms should have the same common factors. So even though x to the power of 3 has something in common with x to the power of 4, they both have an x squared doesn't. So in this case, what I'm going to do is only take a look at the common factor of all three of them, which is x times x. Remember now, this is going to be outside of my brackets, but I don't write this down as x times x. Now I'm going to write down as x squared again. Open your brackets. The first term I'm left with x times x, so that's going to be x squared. Minus, because there's a minus here. I'm left with x here. Yeah, and now here, x times x, you could say I have nothing left, right? But yeah, we cannot write down nothing here. So you have to be clever here. You could say there's also a 1 times x here, and I'm left with 1. I should write down plus 1. So if you find or use all the factors out of a term, so here I use x times x, which were all the factors, I write down a 1 inside the brackets. Because if I'm now going to multiply out the brackets like this, I will find x times x is x to the power of, or x squared times x squared is x to the power of 4. X squared times minus x is minus x to the power of 3. And because this 1 is here, I do x squared times 1, I find plus x squared. If this 1 was not here, I would not find this term again. So I have to write down a 1 here. Remember that carefully, please. The book don't give you that many examples where this happens. So that's why I want to show you this one. And let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at, well, at E as well. Or should I do another one? Let's do H. H is even more, you could say, difficult because I have more difficult terms. 12x to the power of 8 plus 12x to the power of 6 minus 16, and I have to write this down correctly, that's an 18, minus 16x to the power of 5. Yeah. I already know, because I have x to the power of 8, x to the power of 6, and x to the power of 5. I can now write this down like, let's for example do 12x to the power of 8. First take a look at the numbers. 12 I can write down as 2 times 2 times 3. I'm not going to write down x times x times x times x times x and then 8 times. I'm just going to write down, well, let's first do it like this. Let's first do all the numbers. So here, 18 is going to be 2 times 3 times 3. And 16, x to the power of 5, is going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Yeah, and now I already see x to the power of 5 here, x to the power of 6 here, and x to the power of 8 here. I would write it down like this. X to the power of 5 times x to the power of 3. Here, x to the power of 5 times x. and here x to the power of 5. So you could write down x times x 8 times here, and x times x here 6 times, and x times x here 4 times, and then underline them all. Yeah, this takes a lot more time. I already know that I can take out x to the power of 5 in all of them. And then I'm left with x and x to the power of 3 here. What are the numbers that are in common? Well, I certainly have a 2. I have a 2 here, but not here, so I cannot use that. And I have a 3 here, and I have a 3 here, but not here. So strangely enough, you could say the only number that I can now write down outside of my brackets is 2. So what's going to be outside of my brackets? I have 2 x to the power of 5. What I'm left here is 2 times 3 is 6. And I'm left with x to the power of 3. Here I'll write a plus because there's a plus here. 3 times x, which is 9x, minus what I'm left with here, 2 times 2 times 2. I've used all my x's already, so only have to write down 8 here. And this is how you factorize when you have more terms. You get, as I said, you could write down x 8 times, then you underline 5x's, 5x's, and 5x's. You could also use a shorter way like this. Or if you want to, you can do this all mentally. You don't have to write down this intermediate step on your test. But certainly in the beginning, if you find it difficult, write it down because it helps you. It's easier to make mistakes if you do this mentally, okay? Good luck to you all.